1, 2, 3. Hello, it's Alex Hunter again with the writing workout. This is number 4, I believe, somehow. Thanks for staying with me this whole time. And if it's your first one, I'm Alex. I'm from the land of fast red cars, and I am an author. I recently finished editing my next novel, and I spent the past few months just in editing mode, not writing anything new. So I have a process I use when this happens to get my mind back into shape for writing fiction. Fresh things that have never been said before, hopefully. And this is the process of how I do that. So first I pull 2 lists of things, as I have in previous videos. The first one is fruit. The second one is computer stuff. I'll let you kind of read through that if you'd like to see what I came up with. Pretty basic stuff. Just the first thing that came to my head in that list, and then working my way down, trying to dig when I run out of things to think about, obviously. Just to fill up the list and give myself some prompts to write about. What I really wanted to talk about here is pushing through when you hit a spot that's hard to continue on. Maybe I phrased that poorly. But you'll see even in this list for this last computer stuff thing, right? And so this is at 2 times speed. So it took me longer than that to come up with memory, and it felt like forever when I was writing it. And part of me thinks, oh, I have enough. Let's just end it and start making the word associations and come up with some prompts. But I sat on it, I thought about it, and I came to an answer. And that's a small example, of course. It's one word that has to do with computers that I hadn't written yet in that 10 item list. So not the end of the world, but it does come up when you're writing longer pieces. You'll feel like you have some good momentum, and then perhaps it slows or perhaps it just drops off. And then what do, right? Do you keep working? Do you just push through? Do you take a break? And I think that really depends on, what your situation is in terms of your time. A lot of people aren't going to have, let's say you have an hour to write every day. You find it at the end of the day, you find it in the morning, you find it on your lunch break and another break during work or something. That's the time you have. So it's always my opinion to just write. Just get down what you can, move the story forward, and it usually ends up being a good piece of writing, because that's essentially what we're trying to do when we write. Push forward, push past the hard part, just get something down on the paper, and if you write something that's incorrect or you don't like, well, you just remove it and you keep moving on. I think the worst thing you can do is just leave it, miss your writing time for the day, come back tomorrow, and you're at the same spot you were stuck at, right? So I don't like to leave myself with blanks like that. And I've heard of authors who leave a half-finished sentence so that they can pick up quick on the next day. It's similar to that, but a little bit, I don't know. But it works both ways too. I've taken a break for a week in between sentences, come back, and then it's like, the problem is totally void. It works out. I can write, and it was just overwork. So it's kind of figuring out where you are at, what's blocking you, where you think the story should go, and where does the story need to go. Because oftentimes the story will tell you. You can, page a few pages back and read up to where you hit the wall. Then oftentimes it's, what's the obvious next thing that the character or the story would do, and take it from there. Even if it's not the best writing, again, just getting something down I think is pretty crucial, and it gets you past that spot where you feel like you're blocked. So anyway, that's enough eulogizing on my part about walls. The fruit I picked was tomato, and the computer stuff was solid state. And the word association order I picked was solid state tomato. So after I came to this prompt, I pulled down all the other thoughts that come to mind when I think of solid state tomato, right? What's in my head? Red, unmoving, large, seeded, grown, wax sprayed, forgotten beneath a shelf, no smell, righteous existent, outlives all of us, been there since 22, grocery stores, customers, employees, brands come and go, one constant, Sheila is a bitch, long, slow, hard hours, nothing to cook at, A&P in hell, deli meat slicer, soda, spills, snowy, dark, bright fluorescence. There was a lot of room on the page, and I really kept it short for a lot of the things that came to mind. So I'm not going to read through all of them, but you can kind of get the vibe from the first few, right? It's sort of like an unnatural youth. It's a thing that exists for longer than it should. It reminded me of like a disgruntled older person who has to work, a minimum wage job that would usually be reserved for teenagers. In how the interaction would work between the young people, the older person, how do they make that work? Because it's, I would say, not a totally natural situation for people to be in. So I know I was going to be talking about an older person who's a grocery store clerk who's watching things fade around him, but there's a tomato that won't rot. And then similarly, it's, there's a young person who's always going to be younger than him, right? So there's sort of like comparatively immortality kind of piece to this. I took a solid state tomato and I renamed it Fruit of Knowledge, right? Red fruit, eternal, forever lasting. It kind of felt like a little spicy to put Fruit of Knowledge, and I like to make just some deeper connections to other literature, this one of course being the Bible. So I took this and I wrote it out. And I did this on June 24th, 2026. So here I'll do the live reading as I write. Fruit of Knowledge. First word, that gives you a mess up. All right, we'll keep going though. Sadie was always an asshole to me, though she had no right. She worked at the coffee kiosk in the Kelman's Mark grocery store. In her green apron. She pulled it tight to show off the guts she never had. Hardly anyone ever went over to get coffee, and she made more than the rest of us, and she'd watch us like a little boy at a construction site, eyes wide and unable to understand how such big things were able to move around while being so dirty and so slow. My phone told me that I took over 20,000 steps each shift, and my feet felt it, as did my gut, which I'd fill with the day-old bakery items they left out on the break room table before moving them out to the dumpster. The coffee stand faced produce and the door that led to the stairs that brought us up to the offices and break room area. She'd watch us hurry up the stairs and lumber down with powdered sugar on our faces and jelly on our fingers. As much as she pissed me off, she did show me one cool thing when it was cold and early and the store was empty except for light. "Old man," she said, "look up there." She pointed up into the rafters. I looked, and against the white struts there was a red orb, a picture-perfect tomato. I thought I could see a bead of condensation on it. It was nuts. "It's been there for weeks," she said. "Hasn't turned brown or melted or anything." I felt like throwing a bag of coffee at it, knocking it down, smushing at my fingers, throwing the frozen heap of pulp at her perfect little apron. Instead, I walked away, happy to be seen. So that story ended on a positive note. Where the last one, I struggled to fit it in. I think the thing that it comes to is we all just want to be acknowledged, and it can be trepidatious when you're an older person looking for acknowledgement out of a younger person, right? It feels like the younger person should be looking for the acknowledgement of the older person, that they should have more of their life figured out, just on the basis of having lived more years, when it's often the opposite, right? The older person is lonely, is somewhat broken, is worn down, and doesn't have as much light in their life as some sort of young, uppity, kind of happy-go-lucky, this isn't the last job I'm going to work kind of person. Where for the older man I pictured in the story, it might be the last job he ever works. You know, things aren't looking great. So to get acknowledgement from something that's young, something that's beautiful, someone that, you know, usually would pay no attention to you other than to kind of observe as if you were a machine, like some other, an other to them. I think that's really where the story draws a line, right? Even though he's filled with hate and anger and some violence, I would definitely say, he just wants to feel like he's being included with the younger people he works with. So, I see that I haven't pushed up the page yet on my other video. Here we go. I'll scoot it up. I kind of jammed it into the paper. Somehow, when I edited it, ended up like 306 words. So I guess when I was making my edits for Substack, I kind of crossed a lot out. But I think that's all right. So if you want to read the full copy of what I just spoke out loud, it'll be on my Substack, acbc.substack.com. I'll also include the prompts. I know I kind of skipped over them as the video was going, but they'll be up there in case you want to take a look, see what you would have written with those same prompts. And if you do end up writing something, which I totally encourage, please share it with me in the comments and let me know what you thought of my story. So I'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and bye.